Hello, beautiful souls. Giovanni here. How are you? I just felt to come in and just talk really briefly about why surrendering to divine will is so important at this time. That experience where we're noticing maybe there's more kind of literally explosive energy on the planet is also a signal to us as light workers, star seeds, new earth creators, healers, coaches, however you want to phrase your service and your contribution to the collective heart field, to actually really step into so much more of who we are. And the reason we're being really supported and reminded about the frequency and energy of divine will is because your divine will has such a bigger level perspective, understanding, awareness, frequency of grace, of miracles, of expansion than our own idea of who we could be or of what our future self might be like. Because we can only project with the information that we currently have about the idea of who we are and how we might move and flow and be really deeply supported as we deeply support the collective ascension process. And also because we are doing something that we have never done before. In the past, like in Lemuria, for example, where we were moving from 5D to 7D, we're actually shifting out of one reality and moving into a different reality. This time, we're actually bringing the power and the beauty and the presence of who we truly are into anchor into our bone marrow. So that is actually a completely different process. So we don't have a cellular memory of doing this before. We do not have a cellular memory of doing this in a collective frequency where we're not actually connected to each other by race or gender or spiritual beliefs. We're actually kind of holding all these different points around the planet as a community of planetary light workers. So we're kind of almost doing it at times in a place of isolation. And often leadership, right? Leadership says embody the medicine that you share. Embody the medicine that you share. That's what allows you to step into leadership. And it's also going to ask you to really step out of your comfort zone. But it doesn't actually mean that that has to be uncomfortable. I don't personally want to be living my life where I feel like I've got to completely stress my nervous system all the time so that I'm growing. And I'll tell you what's so incredible about the frequency of divine will that's coming in for our planet right now. It is so tender. Often the concept of growth and expansion and acceleration is really still very much at this time rooted in the idea that there's some kind of really big release, or there's some kind of pain that we've got to face, or there's some kind of trauma that we're letting go of. And 100%, I've had to deal with all of that stuff in myself, and I'm sure that many of you have. And those are important markers of creating freedom. But the energy that's coming in right now is to remind you that you can actually grow through being incredibly held with deep tenderness and compassion. That you can be lifted and carried and supported into what is actually meant to be an unknown part of you, right? Because transformation means stepping into a part of you that you are not currently aligned to. And I just really feel there's so much desire for all of us to be reminded that we can actually do that in a way that is about opening to the softness and the power of that softness to just sink through. So we're not kind of rehashing stories. We're not necessarily having to go into places that are difficult. We're actually being asked to acknowledge that if we are willing to let go and suspend the idea of who we are and what we're meant to look like and what we're meant to be doing and how that's meant to be presented, and recognize that, oh my God, here is this doorway right there in front of us, that our own divine source self, in cahoots, right, in collaboration, in union with source, universal mother, father, God, your own divine self, whatever is the correct term for you, and the heart of Gaia, right, who is always supporting us to go through our own process of growth, and all of her medicine and all of her skill and all of her wisdom. And also that we are actually meeting and merging with a kind of preordained blueprint of divine service that is wanting to really saturate and bring freedom and expansiveness into, again, how we see ourselves. So the joy of the moment is, oh my gosh, I can let go of so many ideas about who I am currently and who I am meant to be. And I can be fearless about that. And I can know that actually what it brings is incredible relief. It's like, phew, oh my gosh, I do not have to wear that. I do not have to be that. I can actually surrender deeply, deeply, deeply into the gold of my soul that wants to come forward and present itself to me. This is why the parts of you, like your inner child, who actually is still connected deeply to the heart of your own divine source self, why your divine feminine that has always been in a place of deep receptivity, why your divine masculine who loves nothing more than to serve the heart and desires of your divine feminine are knocking on your door and saying, hey, there's this incredibly powerful system of energy and frequency and union and communion that already exists within you. And if you are willing to be in awe of this incredibly beautiful, dynamic powerhouse of unified consciousness that already exists within you, it will allow you to step in to more of who you are from a place of, that is a place of like, oh, I can rest. Phew, I can just lean into what is being offered to me. I don't have to work. I don't have to push. I don't have to try. I don't have to stress. I don't have to regulate. I can actually allow myself to know that what is already operating in its most beautiful and liberating divine frequency is actually just asking me to come and step into its realm, right? The realm of your own divine, wise, beautiful, anchored presence that's waiting to nurture you. And the other thing that comes through is just a reminder that all of the beautiful things that you are holding and sharing and offering for others and your gifts, the gifts of your soul, they're also actually really meant to be for you to rest in, to be nurtured by, to be held by, to be given the frequency and energy that grows you. So, and that is actually happening at the same rate and to the same degree that the kind of chaos that's going on around us is. It's literally our reminder, hey, you know what? It's your time now, beautiful light worker, beautiful new earth creator, however you describe yourself, beautiful soul, beautiful being, expression of universal mother, father in a human container. This is your time to shine. So if you're seeing this message, this is your reminder. From the loving heart of creation, from the one heart, right? The one heart frequency, the heart of Gaia, the heart of humanity, the heart of creation, it's one heart. And it's just wanting to come in and remind you that it's time to allow yourself to surrender to what your divine will wants to share with you. And it is absolutely beautiful and exquisite and perfect for you. right? It's going to be anchored in the energy of joy. It's going to be fulfilling. It's going to be prosperous if this is how you actually allow yourself to pay for your life, right? Everything about it is going to be the absolute perfect match. And just a little reminder before I finish yet again, your current mindset might not be able to actually understand what that's like, because you can only use the information that you've already experienced, right? From the things that you've already experienced. And your divine will, just a reminder, wants to say, hey, you know what? Come in and anchor into a space where you can just allow the power and the energy and the grace of divine will to just dissolve what you don't need and reveal to you what it is about you that you were really, really looking forward to actually embodying in this incarnation. It's like, yeah, I've got to do some stuff. I've got to move through some stuff. I've got maybe some cleanup to do. But then I'm actually going to really step into what is so beautiful and exquisite and unique about me and what I absolutely love to be and do. And this is that time. So I just wanted to remind you and just cut through some of the stuff that's going on for our planet right now. And a really simple way to do that might even just be to envision there's that doorway to the freedom of divine will in your own heart, and just allowing yourself to come and move through that, move into the not knowing and embrace the joy and the tenderness and the softness and the delight that comes from your spirit, that you are willing to be really humble to actually how immensely beautiful and powerful you are, and find the light, the light, and the voice of that light that is wanting to come in and speak to you and speak through you. So much love as you allow yourself to surrender to divine will and expand into more and more and more of the beauty and the exquisite nature that is yours already. Lots of love.